Guys, welcome back to another episode of Recline and Unwind. And Brian is back this week.
Hello.
Um, we're gonna continue our regular Halloween tradition or fall tradition, with Reddit, and this time we have a very special guest straight out of New Jersey. Yeah, I know you were expecting me to say something else. I know you were expecting me to say something something else. We
I was ready for it.
yeah, no, we
I was
have
about to say
I was
with you
hoping you
too.
wouldn't.
we have Edgar. Um, that's my
Hello there.
cousin. He has a lot of experience with the paranormal. He actually has gone ghost hunting multiple times in Willow Street.
Hey, wait, what?
At
Hold
the
on, hold on. This is the first time
farmhouse.
I'm hearing about this, bro. What do you mean?
We're
What do you
talking
mean?
about Phasmo.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, real life. I haven't hunted any ghosts. Listen, bro. I ain't got no ball to steal. Not like that.
We haven't had any weird experiences in Mexico yet, right? When we're over there. I think I had it with Mayito. It was Mayito, my brother and I that had it, but I don't think you and I or anyone else in our family have been present for anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe back then I wouldn't want to, but now kind of.
Now,
I low key kind of want that to happen.
see, like, yeah, now I kind of just want to get some sort of feel of like what it would be like to deal with it. Back then, definitely not. Now, kind of, which is why I'm open to go into these like haunted places. But at the same time, it's like I say this now. What if I get to that point and then I'm like, oh damn, let me turn back. I don't want to do this anymore. But we gotta try it. I gotta tell Esteban to take me to Clinton Road and just look for that part where I think the kid pushes you into the water or something. I don't know.
Hey, yo, what?
That's what he says it is, or Devil's Tower, I believe. But that's what this episode is about. We're gonna be doing Reddit stories on on true scary stories that people have posted that they claim to be real. Um, we can judge. We can be like, hey, it might be real, it might not be. Um, or we can just be like, damn. But you never know. There is one that I just found not too long ago while we were preparing. And I do look at I looked at the comments. And they replied, "I live in Texas. What town is it? This is horrifying." So I guess it's a pretty cool thing to read. So I'm gonna share that for you guys right now, and I'll read it for you guys as well. So it's the old house I used to live in. I lived in was scary as heck. So let's do this, and you guys, we can all talk. So I used to live in a small town in Texas. The house I lived in when I was a kid was a rented home, quite cheap to about $400 a month, give or take. Man, I wish. We didn't know it, but bad things had happened in the house. I remember waking up in the middle of the night to a child with black eyes staring at me from my bedroom closet, swinging his legs back and forth as it sang among my VHSs. Oh, this is old school. Okay. When it noticed that I was awake, it had smiled at me. I remember screaming and calling for my grandma. When the light turned on, it was gone. I refused to sleep in that room after that. The second room I lived in for a while had a door to the attic, and the door would always be open for some reason. One day, my grandparents are not home, and I decided to close it myself. I felt something grab my hair and tried pulling me into the attic. Feral like growls and other noises still haunt me to this day from it. I did escape because my grandparents came home and I was on the floor crying and bleeding. I never trusted tightly enclosed spaces in that house again because of those things. I remember being dragged from my bed at night when the grown-ups were away and waking up halfway off a California king-size bed with bruises around my ankles and scratch marks on my arms. I also remember my cat fighting thin air one night when I was close to one of the closets and weird like screams from whatever my cat was fighting. I don't live there now, and the house is condemned, but some of my old neighbors say they see something in my old bedroom windows, black eyes and all, just staring out the window. Sorry if this is short, I have PTSD and my childhood memories are hazy. What do you guys think of that?
That's
One,
creepy.
I mean, I think I can say for sure that they're pretty happy that thing's condemned.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
all right. I'm surprised like it's condemned, but they haven't demolished it. I feel like that should be like hey, there's no good to live in. Let's just tear it down.
And the fact that people are still seeing things there, that neighbors say they see, something in the old bedroom windows, like the kid that he claimed or they claim to see. Um, that's actually pretty terrifying. I don't know if I would 100% believe it, but hey, man, for $400 a month, anything can happen if things are that cheap. I wish it was like that.
See, what's scary? What's very like weird for me is that because they mentioned the old house I lived in. So my question is, did they did OP live in like that house the entire life, or did they move after a long time, like after let's say 5 years since that event happened or something? Because I'm like, if this happened, multiple times, I'm surprised the parents like, hey, let's
chose to stay there.
yeah, right. I mean, 400 and what? If it's, let's say, okay, so they have VHS. So I'm guessing like
We're talking like
nine, like
early
1980.
2000s, late
Nah,
90s.
VHS.
Yeah,
Late
I still had
90s.
them in 2000s. I used to buy VHS tapes.
I mean, yeah, but fair enough. I'm going with. I'll just go with like late 90s, early
Mm-hmm.
early
Oh, yeah.
90s. I, Still, I'm like, yikes. I'm surprised the parents I mean, your kid is coming to you with like bruises and scratches on their arms and ankles. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I would have ran, man.
I would have been out of there, especially if like my kid is if a kid was there bleeding at a point. I think that'd be like, that's it. Like I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like in
So
all honesty,
I mean, granted, this is like a small town in Texas, so you know what they say about small towns.
what do they say about small
Get out of
towns over
there.
here?
Just
Yeah,
get out.
that's why you gotta come live in the big city.
I don't know about that. I feel like the big city has its own flaws.
A lot.
Honestly, it really does.
It does, yeah. Like it's cool and all, to be able to wake up and get. I mean, at any time of day, go to the deli, get yourself a sandwich or a snack. But there's a couple of flaws as well. I'm not even gonna lie.
I feel like you trade like small town ghost stories to uh big city horror stories. I don't
Rats
know, you get
everywhere,
rats everywhere.
raccoons.
Or you got some weird like bum following you on the streets at late night on an alleyway. Just come home from a club. I get home, you get followed or stalked by a hobo. I
Did
don't know,
I
bro. I feel like
did I tell you that my
I,
dad, when he used to live in Harlem with the rest of our aunts, um he said he would walk down, I think I forgot the avenue. He would walk down, and in order for people not to bother him, he would have to act like one of the crackheads that were on that block. And he said
Oh
that,
yeah, he told me that
I
story. That's
told
just
you,
hilarious.
yeah. So he used to like walk out, and I guess he found like a cigarette on the floor and would pick it up and pretend to walk with it in his hand, all like limping and everything. Or maybe he had a cigarette in his pocket. I don't know, but that's how he was able to get through.
that's fucking crazy.
That's insane. The fact that he has to do that, honestly, is kind of like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Let's see what else we got. I have this one big one that I wanna read to you guys. That could be the last one. Let me get an. There's an Alexa
Ooh,
experience.
actually, okay, yeah. We can go to the one above it after,
This one?
because that one, yeah. But let's do the Alexa one since we
Ah,
already clicked on it.
let's do this. Okay, so this is creepy Alexa experience. Um, so this happened about 6 or 7 years ago. Has it been that long since Alexa came out?
Nah.
Nah, nah. Oh, when did Alexa come out? 2014.
Dude, what?
Yeah,
It's
initial
almost
release
10
2014.
years.
Oh no, now you're showing your age.
Now you're showing your age.
That is crazy. All right then. Okay, so this happened. So this was posted nine days ago. Well, this happened about 6 or 7 years ago when I got an Alexa for Christmas that year. My parents are old school, and my dad was strictly against having the Alexa even taken out of the box. It took months of begging and pleading before I could set it up, with conditions, of course. Understandable. It had to be in my room only, nowhere else in the house, just my room. When I was not speaking or using it, it was either on mute or unplugged. do not talk personal matters around it. So like family matters, passwords, addresses were not to be said or on the Alexa, even if it was muted. So with those rules and probably a few more, I got to set up my Alexa. I had discovered a while after having it that you can play some guessing games on it. Being an only child at home and bored 99% of the time, I use the feature a lot, like honestly too much. One night when I was playing some guessing game and playing a game on my iPad, I had gotten a question wrong. I don't remember the question or what I answered. I only remember what Alexa said. It said something along the lines of wrong. Now listen close. And obviously this catches my attention and I stop what I'm doing to look at my Alexa. Right on cue, she continues this horrifying whisper, raspy voice. Don't look behind you. Needless to say, I unplugged Alexa and refused to use it for months and years after that. Alright. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That is terrifying.
That is terrifying.
I don't know how legit this is, but
Listen, man. I mean, I don't know too much. Listen, I have my doubts about the paranormal.
mhm.
Let's say, it was a paranormal. That'd be fucking terrifying, you know.
Well,
Well,
like-
I mean, like, because like, think about it like this: paranormal. Let's say the paranormal was like 100% legit, right? And like, then the ghost would have taken over this, like Alexa telling OP like, just don't look. My question is, did they look? Did they look back?
that is a good question.
You had to unplug it, right?
Yeah.
I
When
feel
you
like
stand
you
up.
would have turned around after moving around or something, right?
Or where was Alexa placed? Was it placed behind you? In front of you? Aside
Well-
from that, though,
Imagine it
Alexa.
wasn't Alexa responding though. Like, what if she has like a closet behind her, and there's like a fucking Alexa being used as like a speaker or something, or there's like a MIDI speaker behind Alexa.
That would be a cruel prank. I'm not even gonna lie. That would be so evil.
That would be
Think
messed
about
up.
it, because then it'll come from her. It'll be like, "Oh, Alexa, tell me like do a fucking guessing game." And then it'll be like, "Oh yeah, got you." And then they'll say it. They'll say the guessing game, but
Yeah,
Alexa wouldn't be able to process it.
that's true.
I mean,
There are
like-
voice changers.
there is a thing with like. Actually, no.
Imagine it was your
this-
dad.
Yeah, yeah, what?
It was
Your
your
dad
dad
from
just
beyond the
hiding in the
grave?
closet. He's trying to like fucking tell us, "Hey, never use it again."
Well, to me, it's
That'd
still.
be a messed up. That'd be a messed up way to have your kid that'd be a messed up way to get rid of that Alexa because you didn't like it.
Yo,
That'd be a really messed up way to get rid of it.
yeah.
Traumatizing your child like that.
I-
And he was the one that didn't want it to.
he
use
was really against it. But the fact that it says wrong, now listen close, is terrifying. It says
it.
don't look behind you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it again. One night while I was playing some guessing game and playing a game on my iPad, I had gotten a question wrong. I don't remember the question or what I answered. I only remember what Alexa said. So, what? So did Alexa hear? Like I mean, if they were playing a game on their iPad,
Huh.
it, were they because I'm reading it now and like, okay, so were they playing a game simultaneously while playing
Yeah,
the
see
guessing game?
that's
In
what I
that
was
case-
trying to think about because it might have heard something.
Oh,
Imagine it was like, guess where
it'd be
I am.
weird. Oh god, that'd be terrifying.
I think I'd
And
cry.
it's like, and she's like, "You're right in front of me," and then it's like, "Wrong."
Now listen
Listen
close. Don't look
Don't
behind
look
you.
behind you.
See,
No,
that's
that'd be extreme.
that's best case scenario though.
Terrifying though.
Because
But if I'm being like realistic for me at least, my personal opinion and take on this, I think it's fake. I mean, I get it, true scary stories, but I think it's fake.
well, I feel like these what did you be called personal assistant machines, AIs, whatever. I feel like they should be programmed to only recognize like a human voice type of thing. Because my Google, when I'm watching, I think I was watching It's Always Sunny or I think Modern Family or something, and they said, "Hey Google" in the show, my Google responds, and I did not like that. Or I think it was Family Guy or South Park, one of those, and it's kind of
Yeah,
like
remember I had you on speaker once, and the same thing happened to me. My Google responded because you screamed out, "Hey Google."
I feel like that should be something that should be fixed so that it doesn't respond to us. I mean, to things coming out of a speaker, Because I feel like if I tell Siri, I'm like, hey Siri, and let's see, look, it just went off.
The thing is, that's kind of hard because this a human voice through a speaker sounds exactly the same as if it was in like the actual like space.
But
you know?
there's frequencies too. I feel like they can be programmed to pick up certain frequencies or not to pick up like frequencies. I don't know. I'm no technician, dude. I'm not a tech guy. I wouldn't know how that works.
I mean,
but
you speak in facts. Yeah, there are frequencies, but the thing is, like, to be able to record, it's like saying you have to record multiple people speaking through a speaker just to get those frequencies correct.
true.
It'd be like have to be like at least 5,000 people have to do that test, be in that little like process.
That
And it's such a
sounds like,
small process. It's like not even worth the money.
that sounds like too much R&D, to be honest. Like, yeah, no, but I can see what you're saying. But yeah, no, I mean, I have an Alexa in my, I have a what, Echo Dot
Mm-hmm.
3, 2. I don't know what version they're on.
He looks at it. What are you?
Don't look behind you.
Right. It just comes up behind me. Nah, actually, it's behind me. It's on my little shelf, like to my left side. But no, that'd be terrifying. That'd be extremely terrifying.
Yeah.
But I don't know how true this is. It probably is, but a lot of like your personal assistants usually actually have like, or from what I heard is they have their, like, the mic is actually always open.
Always.
So that way it can pick up on any preferences you have or anything you mention. So that way when you start looking something up, it starts advertising and pushing advertisements to you.
Which is terrifying.
And so hey bro, I'm looking at a new TV. Next thing you know, you're on your iPhone or something on Safari or Google or whatever, and you're just looking and you're just going through the pages and you're getting a fucking advertisement off to the side. You know, Samsung 75-inch.
Yeah.
I'm like Best Buy or some shit. Yeah, that's just terrifying.
I was
I
reading
get that all the time on my computer.
I was reading a caption on Instagram once. This is a guy that used to post funny captions about a post, and he mentioned Burger King somewhere in it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally scrolled down one extra post, and it's a Burger King ad. I'm like, that is crazy, because I was just reading about it. How does Burger King come up so fast?
Like that shit right there. Now that is terrifying.
That it was weird. It honestly is weird. Or like, do you remember the Smosh video, the killer easy bake oven?
Yeah.
Imagine something happen like that. Like they just gain their own like life of their own and just start like, I don't know, like iRobot.
Big Brother's listening.
Everyone is listening.
They already are.
Safe. Let's check out the one that you wanted to check out.
Yeah.
Edgar. The jogging ghost encounter.
All right.
All right.
If I read this one?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
All right. So anytime from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., I'll go on a jog. I'm usually up at this time, so it's kind of become a common thing now. Anyways, last night I left my house for a jog at about 3:30 a.m. I jogged for almost an hour before I started heading back home. I'm about 5 blocks away from my house and on a straight path to the corner of my block. I jogged 2 more blocks before I see a person 2 blocks up standing on the corner. I don't think too much of this, even though it's about 4:30 a.m. now. I always see people out walking their dogs during my jog, so it's nothing new to see somebody out at this time. I'm now about a block and a half away from this person now. So I slow my pace because I'm coming up to an intersection, and I assume they might have a dog with them, so I want to give them some time to start moving before I finish my final stretch home. I get to the intersection, look out for cars. When I look straight ahead, I saw the person at the corner start to walk left around the corner. At this point, I finish walking across the street and pick up my pace. I get to the corner and the person was standing at, and where I get to the corner the person was standing at, and I look to my left in the direction the person went. I initially did this to check for a car, but I looked further back to see if the guy was alone or walking a dog. But when I looked, I saw no one there. Now it's not a big deal. Maybe went into a car or something, I thought. But I'm nosy AF and wanted to see if somehow made it to see. I guess what they're
If
trying
they
to say
made
is,
it somehow.
yeah, I wanted to see if they somehow made it to the other corner before I could see. So I went up a block, took the left on the corner, and started heading back in the direction I came, but one
But on the
but on
night,
the next on the next block over, I apologize if that's a little confusing, but bear with me. The block I started on and the neighboring block to my left meet at one point like a triangle. Anyways, back to what happened. I started heading back. I ran up one block, get to the corner, and look around while keeping my pace. I see no one. At this point, I gave up on that person. I figure let me just go 2 more blocks up, loop back, and then head home. I now get to the corner where I originally saw that person and take the left so I can be on the straight away to my block again. When I turned the corner, saw a person standing on that same when I turned the corner, I saw that person standing on that same corner. Now I make it about half a block up before I slow to a walking pace. I walk to the corner of the block I'm on and check for cars. Again, I look straight and the person begins to walk left just like last time.
oh
I
hell
thought,
no.
wow, that I thought, wow, what a coincidence. And continued to cross the street. Now I wear glasses, but when I jog, I put them in my pocket because the sweat makes them slide off. I cross the street, pick up my pace, and get to the corner the person was standing on. I stopped at this point and looked left. I saw no one and thought, surely I'm not that blind, and put my glasses on only to see no one in sight. I even took out my headphones to see if I could hear anything, but it was just quiet. Now, I know you might think I'm weird trying to see where these people are going, but to me, it was a challenge to try and make it to their corner before they made it to the end of the block. So at this point, I'm thinking, damn, I lost the challenge, so do another loop. So another loop I did. And when I got to the corner where I saw the
Yo.
person, I took the left and instantly stopped in my tracks. I saw another person standing at that same corner. I put on my glasses again so I can see better and start to walk forward while looking at this person. I couldn't make out if they were facing me or not. But there's no way 3 times in a row someone's on that block, on that corner when I get there. I started to feel like I was in the loop at this point, like some weird ass genjutsu. Anyways, this person does not move an inch. I walk to the corner and get ready to check for cars, but before I do, I stay locked in this person to see if they're going to walk to the left like the others, but they don't move. I look to my right to see if a car is coming, and then look forward only to see the person begin to walk left. Now, I'm hesitant to cross. Why did they only move now? Surely it's not a coincidence for this to happen 3 times now. I took a minute before continuing to walk. I get to the corner they were on and look in the direction they went. Nothing. Now I'm confused. They didn't seem to be walking fast, so surely I would have seen someone. So I figure let me just go the way they went to see how long it would take to walk it. I have my glasses on and headphones out at this point. I look around and no one is around at all, so I begin to walk. I make it about a quarter up this block when I get a chill down my spine. I stop walking and take a sec to try again and understand why I'm feeling this way. I look behind me and someone is standing at that corner again. I don't know what to do other than turn around and continue to walk. When I go to turn, I see from my peripheral the person move. I turn back and now they are walking my direction. From the little time I had to turn back again, I tried to see the person face, but it was dark. They seem to have they seem to have like a hoodie on. We are now both walking in the same direction and I can hear the footsteps from behind. They're not close, but they seem audible. I make it to I make it to halfway up the block before I decide to just peek over my shoulder, only to see no one behind me. I had just heard their footsteps, so now I stop completely and turn around to confirm no one is there. Sure enough, no one is there, and my heart instantly drops to my ass. I'm now standing facing the corner where I saw the person and no one is on the block. I'm trying to calm myself a little and think maybe I was hearing my own footsteps or something. I turn around to just continue on home when I see someone up the block now sprinting in my direction. Now, it's 4:30. It's very quiet outside. I can hear crickets loudly chirping, but the person in a full sprint heading towards me was completely silent. No sound of shoes hitting the pavement or anything or anyone breathing. I was just frozen, trying to make sense of what was happening, staring at this shadowy person running right at me. All I could do was stare, watching them get closer and closer until they were 10 feet away. Then they disappeared like they were never there to begin with. I snapped back into reality and just started taking off for home. I was a full sprint until I got inside. I locked the doors and just showered trying to make sense of this experience. I figure I'd come on here and share to get someone's thoughts on the matter. This is my first post, so I apologize if the writing and explaining is a little difficult to follow. Anyways, let me know your thoughts.
That was a lot to take in.
That that definitely was a lot.
That was
His
way too
or
much.
OP's description of this or their explanation of the situation, mostly around like their block, like the running around the block and stuff. Kind of weird. It was hard. It was hard for me to follow, even
It
while reading it.
it was like I know they say it's a triangle, so I kind of understand how it is because around my
Yeah.
house it is kind of like that, and I envisioned it like, it's late, the street like it's the dark sky, the yellow light on the floor or whatever. I don't know why I imagined it like that when it was happening. It's
Yeah.
4:30. It's dark as hell.
Yeah. So I mean, when was this post? Can you scroll up to the
This was
top?
posted, yeah,
I feel like there should be
a week
eight.
ago, 8 days ago.
Okay. Okay. So this is okay. So this is relatively recent. Nah. So like, funny enough, whenever there was a time when I went out for a run, um, back in high school. I'd stay up really late,
Hmm.
and I'd go out for a run at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, going out for runs in the middle of like the night basically, it is surreal. Like,
Are you scared when you or were you scared when you did that?
so when I first started going out for runs, like late at the late night,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely I was definitely uneasy. Even though I would, the route itself, I already knew, I already planned it out, and it's in my own city. I'm not leaving the city,
Right.
you know. So even though I know what it looks like during the day, and I know my route at night, or like, yeah, basically at night, when everyone's asleep, except maybe the very few people who work night shifts or something. It is completely just empty on
Yeah.
those streets. All you guys are street lights. In some places they don't got street lights for like half a block.
Yeah, you're there.
So
Going up on where your old house was. It's pretty scary over there.
yeah, so like running at night sometimes, like it, when I first started doing it, it got me uneasy because it just, you're not used to the dark, let
No.
alone used to running in places where like you'll have a moment, you'll have some light, and then for like not even 5 minutes, like maybe a minute, you know it's just complete darkness.
Yeah.
And it is, I gotta say, it is
Terrifying.
I wouldn't even say terrifying. It's like
Ominous.
like you're, yeah, ominous, but like mentally your brain knows
You're
like
good.
you're good, but subconsciously like you're
Scared.
you're crapping you're
Yeah.
crapping your pants. you
Definitely.
know that's why I kind of picked this, because I didn't have a similar encounter like this, but
Have you had
some
anything like it when you used to
no,
jug? No.
luckily I haven't. I mean, and I've ran through like kind of the shadier parts of the city that I live in,
Mm-hmm.
but like a little bit not that far from the high school. And I tell you, man, I honestly, I swear for once I was gonna get like mugged or something down there, because it just like it's shady. You always see the cops there,
Yeah.
but luckily I never ran into a creep or had a bad experience at night.
Yeah.
But I can see this. I can see like this type of stuff. Like it disappears 1 second, and then it comes back another second, and they're running towards you, but you don't hear them. You don't hear a breathing.
Well,
You don't hear
no.
footsteps.
Yeah. Well, he heard the footsteps, or the OP heard
He,
the
yeah,
footsteps,
yeah,
but they
at
didn't
first,
hear
but then
the.
the breathing, yeah.
They didn't hear
But
anything.
when it started running towards them, he didn't
Yeah.
hear its footsteps. That
Really?
is
I thought they heard it.
yeah. If you scroll up,
Um, I was hearing about. No, I had just heard their footsteps, so I stopped and confirmed no one is
oh,
there.
here we go. Now it's 4:30. It's very quiet.
Okay, crickets.
No sound of shoes hitting. Full sprint towards me.
Oh,
Completely silent. No sound of shoes hitting the pavement or anyone breathing. Like, see, like, just imagining that. Like,
that's
I can
enough.
imagine myself like during a run. Like I'm sweaty, or I'm just kind of, or just I'm putting in some effort, and the next thing you know, I see that thing, whatever the heck that was, person or I don't know, some weird paranormal thing.
That.
My heart would drop. I
Mm-hmm.
can just imagine like my heart would like my heart would skip a beat from fear, and
It's himself.
I wouldn't put it past me at that
Yeah.
point.
I feel like at
Seeing
that
something
point,
like
I'd
that,
accept death at that point. Like, it's running at me. No, I don't hear anything. I'm like, it's over. Like, I'm dying right now. Like,
nah,
somehow.
man, nah, man, I'd book it. I would book it. Like luckily, I mean, for this guy, you know, they stared and then they just disappeared out of nowhere.
Hmm.
But in that case, bro, just like the main, like OP here, man, I would have ran for my life.
Okay,
I would
would
have
you
not
have ran though,
stopped.
or would you have not been frozen? I feel like I can run, but just that
No,
moment of shock would be enough to keep me like, oh, I'm done here. Like, I cannot run. I'd be stuck for
no,
sure.
I feel like for me at night, just because I'm just already at night, I'm already jumpy and hyper. Like I would be aware.
Yeah.
Much I would always be on alert. If I saw that, I might not gonna lie, I probably would be frozen in shock for like a good 2-3 seconds because my heart would just fucking jump, you know.
Yeah.
But after that, if I see someone coming after me out of nowhere,
You're running.
I just run. I'm listen. Some people they just can't deal with that weird shock. But if I saw someone running after me, bro, I just run. I
I
mean,
post up.
are you post
Yeah,
up?
I
Bro?
feel like it's like the fighting versus fleeing instinct. Like, people would
Nah, man.
would dip, and
Nah, but listen. I don't care how tough you think you are.
oh
Something's coming at you. You don't hear it breathing. You don't hear any footsteps. That thing has dead silence on, bro. Listen, man. I'm running. I'm running for my life. I
yeah,
am not stopping. I'm not. I'm. Listen. If there was a car coming up in front of me, like or about to cross an intersection, bro, I'd run. I don't care if that car hits me, it hits me, but I'm not letting that thing catch me.
you're not going down without a fight. And
Nah,
even
bro.
and
Nah,
running is
bro. Nah.
fight. It's a fighting move here.
Yeah. Running, I guess you could say it's a fighting move here. Listen. If a car hits me while I'm trying to run away, I'll take my chances of getting hit by a car.
This man.
But
Huh.
better than get a cop, whatever is chasing you, man.
Yeah, I feel like, like when there's like let's say you're getting mugged, you see them coming at you, you know that you're probably gonna get robbed, right? If this thing is running after you, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, is it gonna run right through you? Is it going to possess you? Is it going to kill you? Like, you don't really know, and I feel like that's what makes it even so much more scarier.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's go. If realistically, being realistic, could be some. Actually, no, I can't. No, I mean, I feel like it's fake because I'm not a big believer in the paranormal, but lots of weird things
Have happened.
have happened at night.
Do you?
Just things you can't explain, and I'll just leave it like I would leave it like, all right, I can't explain it. I'm not. I just hope I never have to come across that like a situation like that.
Do you believe in skinwalkers?
Oh, but skinwalkers. Ooh, that is a I personally do not, but like low key, I kind of wish like paranormal. Like I don't believe in it, but I kind of low key wish the paranormal was like it was a thing.
Yeah.
Not really for like this a sick morbid reason, but more like it kind of would turn up. It would turn what you know upside down.
Yeah.
Kind of flip your world view.
It would give
all
you
the
like a
way over.
whole different perspective on what life
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like I don't know, it'd make life interesting. You know?
I agree. I feel like it would definitely change the way that you look at everything. Everything you know would be thrown out the window because, congratulations, you have a skinwalker. So
Those
this
things are
pro-
terrifying though. I have listened to like a lot of like creepypastas and a lot of different YouTubers who read like stories, like either Reddit stories or actual like stories that people say they've witnessed or have experienced.
yeah.
And I'm like, man, a skinwalker? Listen, man, I'd give up at that point. Those things are terrifying.
Did I tell you guys what happened, Brian? Did I tell you? I forgot who it was. I had just gotten home from work and I was putting my motorcycle in. Did I tell you, Brian?
No.
No. So I was putting my motorcycle in, And usually I wait for people because on my block, like it's it's whatever the block. My house is kind of in the middle, so I have to put the motorcycle tail first into my front yard through my little gate. So I saw somebody coming. I was like, all right, I'll just wait for them to. And this is a legit true story, dude. It happened maybe a month and a half ago to 2 months ago. I'm putting my motorcycle back. I'm about to put it inside the gate, and I see someone coming. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So it's a girl and her dog. So she's walking, and I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever. I'm waiting for them to cross. So I look. I see them coming. I stay looking at the front of my like forward. They're out back here. They're back here. I'm looking forward to just let them pass, and then I'm like, okay, it's taking a while, and I haven't heard them walk past me. I turn my head back, and I don't see them. I'm like, oh, okay, they probably passed me. So I'm on my bike like this. Then I turn to my, I turned no, I was I turned back like this. I didn't see anybody. Then I kind of twisted my head a little more so I can look more behind me and didn't see anyone. Then I looked to my left, and somehow they're at the end of the block already. Mind you, when you're walking your dog, you don't walk that fast. I don't walk that fast when I'm walking my dog. I walk much slower than when I'm by myself. They already made it to the end of the block, and I did not hear the dog's leash, the dog's whatever, like collar, tag, nothing. I didn't hear anybody walk past me, and they just happened to be all the way in the front. What terrified me though is I looked to my left to see if they crossed or not there. I look behind me, they're not there, and they're somehow all the way already on the all the way on the left. That was honestly terrifying. And this is like, I wish I was making it up, dude. I'm hoping that I just didn't turn back enough to see them behind me when I did turn back, or I didn't turn back the proper way. But that was terrifying. I looked in front of the like across the street. Maybe had crossed the street. Nothing. They were right. They were on the same path, but just walking right behind me. I put my motorcycle inside and I went inside, dude. Like I went at home. I went home because I was scared. I was like, this is not good. What the hell just happened?
That's not, no. That's I've that just.
And I really wish I was making this up, dude, because I walked into my house very confused that night. I was like, what just happened? Did this really happen?
No, man. That's just I being like, since I'm trying to be the more grounded in reality type of guy for this. I would say maybe they're just really fast walkers.
But for me not to hear, even if you walk fast, you can still hear footsteps. Aside
Well,
from
not
that,
I feel like it depends. Like I, for example, can walk pretty fast without making that much noise. I mean, granted, this is at night, so I feel like you would be able to hear because there's not as much background noise, drowning out the footsteps.
but I mean, but it's night. Like it was late. It was like 11:30. Not many cars were going past my house. Which
Mm.
I
I mean,
again,
I'm just saying, maybe they just went, they just walked by really fast.
I'm hoping they walk by fast, and I'm hoping I didn't turn my head all the way to see them. I don't believe in these things that much all the time, but this actually kind of like creeped me out when it happened. Yeah. So we can get back to it. It's probably gonna be the last one we're gonna read. But it is a three-parter, and it was posted 2 hours ago.
All right, hold on. Before we do that, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Give me a sec.
Go for it, dude.
Damn, he pees a lot.
Huh?
He pees a lot.
He has to go, dude. I don't blame him. I'm about to go right after because I almost finished my water bottle.
Yo, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just like looking over this story. There's so they're putting no untrue stories, which is funny.
Yeah.
There's 3 parts. Right, yeah, 3 parts. Let's see. I've been finding. Let's see. Okay, so there's a whole video on it apparently, which is pretty cool. Oh, it was
Okay,
removed.
I'm back.
It was removed by the uploader. Dope, dude. Okay, so this is a three-parter. Um, I'm gonna try going kind of fast without really losing the entire reason of the video. So this is a three-parter. It was posted 2 hours ago. The family house is haunted. That's the title of it, and there's three parts. So, oh, sorry. Let's see. Let's begin. When I was a child, my late uncle's chilling ghost stories had a way of sleeping into my young mind, filling it with vivid images of the supernatural. His stories were so convincing that as a kid, it was impossible not to believe in the eerie possibilities he presented. He really loved freaking out his little nieces and nephews. Okay. The centerpiece of many of my uncle's eerie narratives was my grandmother's old house, a relic from the past that stood a short distance up the road from the family cemetery. It had a history intertwined with the supernatural, making it the perfect setting for his stories. Wow. Several family members had passed away within its walls, including my grandfather and her two infant daughters, who had met untimely deaths. My grandmother often spoke of beings that visited her at the foot of her bed. Their nature a mystery. Ghosts and angels, no one could say for sure. Ghosts or angels, no one could say for sure. Most of the family dismissed her accounts as hallucinations, but my mother and I believed her, and my uncle frequently brought her visions to life in story form. Among the many stories I remember him telling, there were two in particular that left the indelible mark on my imagination. The tale of a mysterious light that wandered around the cemetery at the witching hour, and the ghost I had visited multiple generations there. Over the years, I had three paranormal experiences of my own, all focused around the same house, making me wonder if perhaps my uncle's tales had been more than just spooky stories. My first encounter happened on a weekend when we were visiting my grandma. I was just 7 or 8 years old at the time. I was sitting on the living room floor playing with toys. Sometime I looked at my mom and told her I had to go to the bathroom. When I reached for the bathroom door, something caught the corner of my eye that totally freaked me out. I saw an apparition so shockingly real that I froze in place. Descending the staircase just beyond the bathroom door was someone wearing a pair of old light-colored brown pants, accompanied by heavy brown work boots. I couldn't see above the waist, and I knew no one was ever allowed to go upstairs. These were not the attire of the living. They were spectral, anachronistic remnants from another era. Oh, these are big words. Like something out of the 1920s or 1930s. My heart raced, and I struggled to process the impossible sight before me. The pants ascended the stairs with an eerie, deliberate slowness, then stopped. Panic surged through me. I slammed the bathroom door shut and frantically looked for a place to hide. My heart was pounding relentlessly. My mind raced, trying to make sense of the situation. Could it be my late grandfather, who had passed away when my mother was just 9 years old? I didn't have long to think about it before I noticed that the bathroom door wouldn't open. It had no lock yet. I found myself locked inside, desperately kicking and screaming for help. Minutes felt like hours as I fought to open the stubborn door, my cries for help going unheard. Strangely, the living room, where my parents, grandmother, and aunt were gathered, was just on the other side of the bathroom wall, but no one seemed to hear my frantic cries and screams. The door finally opened and I bolted out of there, running back to the living room. I shut the hallway door with such force that it interrupted my family's conversation. They looked at me puzzled by my sudden entrance. The freaky part is that no one heard my screams or me pounding on the door. I would never told anyone about the encounter, including my parents, because I didn't want to be thought of as some nutcase. Part 2. My aunt, a stubborn old woman who lived in the old house, had become increasingly susceptible to falls. Is it the same? Is it continuing it? So, alright, so that's one of them, I guess. That one that we just passed was the first one, the first story, because I don't think this one continues it.
I think because they mentioned they had multiple. They had like what, three?
Two stories? Three?
Three stories. No, three stories.
So that first one is actually kind of scary. It's like that door like led her to a different dimension. I don't know how.
I don't know.
Or maybe they were just talking and they have a lot of soundproof
I
material.
don't know. But I mean, even like like a bathroom and then so here's the bathroom on one side, and in the middle is the bathroom wall, and then on the other side should be the living room where
Yeah.
everyone else is. I mean, if we go with the paranormal idea, I mean, yeah, could be another dimension
Yeah.
because they were fighting to fighting to get out,
To
right?
get out,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Or maybe
could
they
be.
were the family just had a lot of conversations going on that they didn't pay attention. Maybe it was loud. Um,
Maybe, but I mean, for any child, that would be
yeah,
extremely
that is locked.
disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
So let's see this one. My aunt, a stubborn old woman who lived in the old house, had become increasingly susceptible to falls. She resisted using her life alert device and seldom wore it around her neck. It was a daily source of worry for our family, and eventually the day came when her two sisters could no longer ignore the need for intervention. They made a difficult decision to admit her into a nursing home, an act of she strongly opposed. My mother had spent several nights with her before the dreaded decision was made, hoping to prevent the inevitable move to the nursing home. But despite our best efforts, it was too late. My aunt was placed in the care of the facility, leaving her home empty. With my mother already staying there, I decided to move in, with my aunt's permission, as I felt uneasy about my mom being alone. A good friend of mine, ever helpful and eager to assist, joined me in the endeavor. To save money, my aunt graciously allowed us to use my grandmother's old house to store our belongings temporarily. It was a nostalgic place filled with memories of my family's past. However, it also harbored a reputation for being haunted, a fact that had fueled countless ghost stories over the years. As my friend carried the first set of boxes into the house and suddenly dropped them and ran back to where I was standing to my truck, her face was as pale as a ghost, and she was breathing heavily, as though she had just sprinted a marathon. She stammered. As soon as I entered the back door and into the hallway, I heard three loud knocks. It gave me the heebie jeebies. I raised an eyebrow, initially skeptical of the story. The house was old, and it had always been a hub for ghostly tales. Still, something about the intensity of her eyes made me reconsider. The look on her face seemed genuine, and I couldn't ignore the shiver that ran down my spine. After all, in a house with such a haunted reputation, anything was possible. We decided to proceed with the move, uh, albeit with some caution. Albeit. We continued to
Albeit,
transfer, albeit,
albeit.
albeit. Oh, I'm on drugs. We continued to transfer our belongings into the house, but neither my mother nor I heard anything out of the ordinary. There were no mysterious knocks or unexplained sounds to be found. It was almost as if the ghosts, if they existed, were selective about their interactions and perhaps only revealing themselves to certain people. Over the following weeks, my friend continued to visit, offering her support and company. She helped with chores around the house, like cutting the grass and weeding the garden. One sunny afternoon, while I was preoccupied with clearing the way with some overgrown brush, I noticed her demeanor changed. Her complexion paled once again, and her eyes darted nervously around the yard. Concerned, I approached her and asked her what was wrong. She hesitated before finally confessing, "I keep feeling like I'm being watched." And when I looked at the second story window, I saw a face. My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a chill wash over me. This isn't the first time she had been unnerved by the house's presence. She seemed genuinely frightened and on edge. The apparition she described scared the crap out of her, making her feel profoundly uncomfortable and unwelcome. After that day, my friend's visits became increasingly infrequent. She no longer came over to hang out, and when we met, it was always at a neutral location or through phone calls. The experiences she had in the house had left an indelible mark on her, and the apparitions that seemed to inhabit the old house had effectively driven her away. As the months passed, I never heard the strange knocks or witnessed any spectral faces myself, but the stories and encounters of those who had remained lingered in my memory. The house seemed to harbor secrets that were only known to select few, a world of apparitions and unexplained phenomena that had kept the family's imagination alive for generations. I couldn't help but wonder if the ghosts were the lingering spirits of my grandparents or other, more enigmatic entities. Whatever the truth may be, the haunting of Grandma's house still remains a mystery. Interesting.
Okay, let's. You guys, you want to go over second story before, because this one's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a pretty long one. See, the first one I believed pretty well. The second one was too detailed for me to believe.
You think so?
I think there was a lot of detail there.
I wouldn't really say so. I mean, all they really did was make like regular vague statements. Like they saw a face up on the window. It's not like they said, "I saw a face on the window on the second floor, on the third window to the right." Then okay, I feel like that'd be a little bit too suspicious, just because it's way too much detail. But she just basically mentioned how her friend started, you know, you can call them hauntings, started experiencing hauntings, and these slowly progressed to be more noticeable.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if I'd say it was pretty. I'd say it's a little bit pretty realistic. If we're because they meant because who knows, maybe the spirit wasn't or the ghost wasn't like being malicious. Maybe he was looking out for her friend or for for OP.
So you
Could
think it's kind of like what dogs do? You know how dogs like they have a better judgment, a second wind
could be
apparently.
could be. I mean, who knows? It's either I mean, I'm looking at it a positive way, like oh maybe it's protecting OP from something that maybe OP's friend was hiding. Who knows? I mean, maybe we don't know that much about OP's friend. All we
That's
know is that they'd be friendly and try to help out as much as they could, but
that's a
who
good
knows?
positive twist to the story.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe the ghost knew something. Maybe it felt something. Vibe checked it. Vibe checked their friend.
Vibe check.
Check the
Vibe check the
front.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, or I mean, of course, the more sinister thing would be try to isolate OP and their family to maybe one day haunt them so much to the point they kill themselves. I mean, who knows?
Ooh.
That's the thing. Hey, bro, I did say morbid.
Yeah, yeah. You looked at both sides
So
of the story.
yeah, but I mean, I I feel like if the
Paranormal.
paranormal
Hmm.
was like very very real, I feel like this would be a good example of. I feel like it would be a very realistic, in, story.
I mean, it drove a whole friend away.
Hey man, maybe they weren't really a friend and they were actually
An enemy.
yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows nowadays?
Maybe they were the ghosts,
That's crazy.
right?
Oh yeah, it was my friend just constantly visited my home, and I would show up, I'd show up and say hi to them, and then they would run away every time they noticed me. I kind of felt bad,
Yeah.
so I tried to vibe check them, and they're like, "Nah, bro, I don't like the vibe check."
I didn't like being questioned.
Yeah, right.
So this last one is pretty long. There's no comments on it yet. Uh, and we'll read it, and we'll definitely, definitely end it here, because this is the big one.
Let's go. I'm here for long
So,
stories.
so OP seems to have grown up in this story.
Oh, you're not screen sharing, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, it's coming.
Let's go.
All right, so let's begin. Summer break had arrived, and my children started preparing to spend the upcoming 2 weeks with their father. After breakfast at the old house, I had one last chore to help them. I had one last chore for them to help me with before their trip, to clean their 2 bedrooms upstairs in Grandma's old house. You're gonna get your children killed. You should have seen the looks on their faces. First it was dread, suddenly turned into excitement. Oh, since they were old enough to remember the ghost stories here, it sparked the curiosity to see if any of it was true. The house had been the subject of okay, yeah. Wow, we all somewhat apprehensive about stepping foot inside. Our family's deep connection to the place made us resolute in our commitment. This house, with its time-worn facade and the echoes of past generations, held a special place in our hearts. That night at dinner, one of my children proposed the idea. Why don't we take a camera upstairs and see if we can capture any ghosts or something? He flashed a mischievous grin. the kind only a child can wear when proposing something both thrilling and terrifying. I pondered the suggestion for a moment. The idea of embarking on a paranormal adventure was enticing, but I could also feel a shiver of unease. Nevertheless, I couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. All right, I finally said, and giving into the excitement, let's do it. This morning after breakfast, we made our way upstairs, camera in hand, and determined to unravel the mysteries of the old house. As I ascended the creaky wooden stairs, my heart raced with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. During the entire time we cleaned, however, there were no signs of any otherworldly presence. No strange sounds, no eerie sightings, just the musty scent of time-worn wood and faded memories. That night, as we huddled together to watch the recorded footage, we were unprepared for what we would uncover. The camera had captured something that defied explanation, something that sent a shiver down our spines. In the midst of the recording, a small orb darted across the room like a blur, as if it were desperately trying to evade the camera's lens. It moved with otherworldly grace, flickering in and out of sight before vanishing entirely. We watched in astonishment, our hearts pounding, as the camera had somehow managed to capture this it, ethereal ethereal
Ethereal.
ethereal
Yeah, close enough.
uh potato anomaly. But the strangeness. I'm on drugs. See this? But the strangeness didn't end there. In one corner of the bedroom, a transparent image began to materialize. A ghostly face etched with the lines of age and wisdom. It was the face of an old woman, her features soft and hauntingly familiar. She seemed to gaze at us with the eyes that held the weight of time. As we continued to watch, a chill settled over us. The most unsettling revelation awaited us in the final moments of the recording. In the exact spot where my youngest son had been standing, an apparition appeared, a baby, hovering above his left shoulder. Its translucent form exuded an otherworldly presence, a spectral reminder of a life that had been cut tragically short. The significance of these haunting revelations began to dawn on us. The old family home, with its century-old history, had been witness to countless moments of joy and sorrow. It had been the backdrop of the stories for our ancestors, each one leaving an indelible mark on the house's very own foundation. The family's histories with these walls had been marked by numerous deaths, spanning across all ages and generations. Among them was the unresolved tragedy of a baby's death nearly 50 years ago, a sorrow that had never truly found closure. As my children embarked on the visitation with their father, my cousin who lived next door to the old family home paid me a visit. He had experienced a profound loss just 2 years prior to when his daughter tragically lost her life in a car accident. His eyes held a mixture of grief and wonder as he shared something he had discovered. He pulled out his laptop and showed me a video that his son had captured on his phone. It was an image that defied belief and left my heart heavy. The video showed his deceased daughter hovering over him from behind, her presence unmistakable. He explained that she had appeared only once, offering him a moment of solace and connection. As I listened to him, a chilling realization washed over me. The old family house, standing as it had for over a century, had become a repository for souls, a place where the spirits of family members who had passed away over the years found refuge, solace, and perhaps even connection. Fast forward 1 year later, it was another hot summer. It was the middle of August, which here is the hottest part of the year. Which here in the South is the hottest part of the year. I had been talking with a friend for a while about repairs needed to be done down to the downstairs hallway. The floor was rotting so bad that in some places your foot would go right through the floor. It needed to get fixed right away. So our cousin came over to look at the house. I was at work when they came. My mom was home to talk to them and go over everything that needed to be done. It was only minutes later my friend's cousin ran out of the house straight to the car. He claimed it was freezing and that he kept feeling that he was being watched. He was terrified and refused to ever come back. My friend said that they were going down the road. Her cousin kept insisting. My cousin said that they were going down the road. Her cousin kept insisting to turn the heater on. That as they were going down the road. Okay. For miles, she said he was freezing to death. The stories and encounters within his old house's walls were not merely figments of our imagination or the product of superstition. They were products of past that refused to fade away, whispered from the other side that spoke of the enduring bond between the living and departed. As I continued to care for the old family house, I couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence for the generations that had come before us. The house had become a bridge, a portal through which we could glimpse the lives and spirits of our ancestors. It was a place where the past and the present converged, where the line between the living and the departed blurred, where the legacy of our family continued to unfold in mysterious, poignant ways. All right. That was a lot for my eyes to read.
Really?
Sounded like a fiction story, you know?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, these are very, very well crafted stories, very descriptive. How legit can this be? You know?
Like, it doesn't sound. The last one sounded not real at all. The second
Mhm.
one was like, you know, it was getting there, but this one's just
This one was
fucking
too.
crazy.
I feel like what throws me off is OP's vocabulary. Like, it's very. Like, what I'm trying to read something here. Uh, have been the subject of countless ghost stories. Like, they keep repeating apprehensive, somewhat apprehensive about stepping foot inside. Like, I feel like you don't have to be that descriptive or that ominous when that happens. Like when you're telling a story. Which is
So,
why it threw me off. Um
I mean, the story itself was I mean, I wouldn't say it was well crafted. Definitely, I like the ending to it and kind of the, I guess, bigger picture of it. You know, that the OP realized that the house was, more than just a place where hauntings would happen. It it's become a place where, you know, the deceased family and the living, those who are stricken with grief that lost someone, can in a in a in a way still feel connected to those they lost.
yeah.
So I feel like that's a they had a nice ending. I wouldn't say the story was really good, but it wasn't terrible either.
Not that it
Um,
wasn't a bad story. It was just very like fabricated in my opinion.
It was
I
just a
mean,
story.
yeah, it's a story. I mean, granted, it's on, what it's
True
true scary
stories.
story,
Yeah.
true stories. But I mean, hey, the world is weird sometimes, you know. That's what I mean. That's why I'm like That's why I don't think paranormal is real, but I would like to hope it is, or at least to an extent,
Yeah.
because I mean, for some people, it gives them a sense of comfort, for those that they've lost, or
Yeah.
you know, for some people to look forward to.
And in this story, I guess it did play that role that they were able to connect with those souls that had passed away in the past. It was more of a comforting thing. And maybe that's why whenever the friend walked in, they didn't like the ghost or whatever, um, didn't let any repairs happen. Because if repairs happen, they might lose that connection, you know?
Maybe, or maybe they're like I think OP said in the second story, that maybe it only shows itself
To certain people.
to certain people
Yeah.
that they're trying to, they think or believe would ruin that, the home in a way, or feel like it would taint that I guess you could call it like a sanctuary
Yeah.
for that family, that, that bloodline.
They don't want anybody else to step in to that realm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
basically. And I mean, I overall I like the ending to it.
It was a wholesome ending. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a wholesome ending, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, it was an interesting take. It was
It
an
was a
interesting
story.
story. It was an
Definitely, it was a
interesting
story.
story.
Yeah.
Definitely, these stories now, though, I'm like, maybe maybe I I should go to like a haunted place. Just see what's up with it.
Hey man, I was told about an asylum here in Long Island that we can visit. It's it's legit apparently haunted, but you can give it. We can try.
Was it?
I
Uh,
think I think it's
is
called
it
like King's Asylum, or I think it's something like that. Um,
Kings Park Psychiatric Center?
yes.
Let's see here. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia for it. God damn, there are a lot of buildings to this asylum. The hospital campus contained over 100 buildings, some of which were organized into groups that function together. And I'm looking at this, and I mean, they got a lot there. Um, today, so this is like the most recent entry into the thing. Today, the sprawling area that once housed the Kings Park Psychiatric Center stands as a testament to a forgotten era. The former rail spur, abandoned in the late 1980s, was converted into a part of a hike dash slash bike trail in 2003. Three. Pilgrim Psychiatric Center, which took the remaining patients from Kings Park, runs 2 group homes on the grounds. So the area itself, like the entire land, isn't fully abandoned.
Yeah.
Looks like only just some parts.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm down to visit if we're even allowed in. 'Cause I know my coworker said that. Oh, my old coworker said that she went in there a long time ago, and it was a scary
So it
moment.
says here it is not open to the public. So you kind of would have to like sneak in there.
Well,
Look, hold up. Let me
We'll
just.
vlog it.
I'm gonna
let's do
Google.
it.
I wouldn't mind it. I'm gonna Google map the area, see what they got, see how much if any vehicles are allowed to move. Google Maps has. I don't know, they have like certain spots. Oh no, so much. No, yeah, they only allow. It looks like Google Maps only has photos of certain spots,
Mm-hmm.
but it definitely looks terrifying. Let's see.
Now we
So
go
the
at night
actual,
though.
so the
Oh,
area
okay.
around the actual place is like not not Google mapped. But let me check the
Yeah,
entrance if
because
there's like
I don't think people
is there a
are. I think
fence?
it's a whole neighborhood that's not able to get in because of that. Yo, but
I'm look.
I'm down. I'm down to
I
go
don't.
check it out.
I wouldn't mind taking a look at it. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like I'm looking around right now at Google Maps, see what's the closest I can get to the area.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's no real fencing there. Not at least from this last imagery from Google from 2021.
So
I
it's
mean, there's
worth a
like a
shot.
gate. There's like a gate fence, but there's no actual. There's no actual like fencing to stop people from going in if you really wanted to.
But there's probably cops there.
I mean, we can go late at night.
There's probably still cops.
We can go late at night.
Oh, we can.
Do not enter. There's like a soccer field in there,
FBI
so it's
man,
like
I promise we're not trespassing. We're not
I
gonna do
swear
any of that.
we're
We're
not planning
kidding.
to
Not
we
trespassing.
are not planning to commit crimes. All
We're
right, we are
kidding.
just hypothetically coming up with ideas. We're not actually going to commit to doing them, FBI man.
We will never do that. That's not part of our persona.
Yeah,
Right.
Logan.
Yeah. Um
No, it is kind of interesting though. Like it gets really blocked off, like pretty well. Um,
so we'll probably get arrested if we were to
not
even try.
well, like I blocked off. I mean, Google Map doesn't have any imagery of the grounds.
Uh-huh.
Like the closest they get is to like the entrance to the field or like yeah they have they get the close like you can drive through it in a sense, but you can't really like get anywhere else around it because the whole driveway around it, okay, so yeah, they don't have like a guard post or anything in like the intersection or like
Mhm.
at the last side that Google Maps has. There's no like guard post or anything stopping you, so you can kind of like drive right. I feel like you would be able to drive right through it because there's different parts of the town that it's surrounding.
Yeah.
So I feel so you definitely should be able to just like if yeah, no, it's not 100% guarded. I'm sure they're keeping an eye out in certain
Yeah,
areas though. But I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a look at it.
I wouldn't
I,
mind
I
driving
found
past it.
I found
Start.
I found a post actually because I just searched up the psychiatric area and then just like hauntings, and there's like this website that just has like Long Island haunted houses,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one posted literally like a month ago. So literally today, me and my two friends went to Kings Park and we're chilling by the morgue building. We were in the courtyard chilling until we heard a strange creaking noise. Strange, I think they mean creaking noise.
Yeah.
Mind you, it was not a windy day at all. It was hot and the wind was stagnant. We look up and see two doors open at the same time. The two doors by the balconies. The middle one stayed shut. Then we were walking through the old patient house ward, and doors kept creeping open and rattling noises and footsteps. It was honestly terrifying, and we dipped so fast. I visited 3 times before and never had anything remotely paranormal happen. Crazy day. There's still postings like recently, like July of 2023, March of or January, yeah, March of 2023.
So it's worth a
Yeah,
shot.
man.
It's
I
worth a
mean,
shot. I
I
mean,
mean,
we can probably
I'm
go.
interested.
Yeah, we can probably do it the legal way, so we don't have to have a record.
Yeah,
And
so,
right.
yeah. There's like some crazy story. Like some guys like sneaked into one of the buildings, into the biggest building in that area, and explored the building, and then they even brought a Ouija board to see what they
Oh
can
no,
find.
no, no. That's where you lose
Uh,
me. Nope.
Yo, Phasmo, let's go.
Brian, next time we play Phasmo, we're gonna play that. We're gonna play that Ouija board.
okay.
All
Well,
right.
but one post is like be careful. Specifically, this is because let's see, most of the place is fully closed out with the perfect couple of spots, which I believe the cops have set up. This is because when leaving through where we entered, a couple of cops were waiting for us and we got caught. They were nice though and gave us no problem except for a ticket, which is nothing compared to what we expected when we got caught. All in all, the experience is amazing. Just make sure to be quiet in the building and not flashlight out the building, which is how they got caught. So just
Oh shit.
be low key. So bring red. If you, I'm not condoning. I'm not saying I endorse any of this. But if you wanted to stay low in a very low light environment, red lens flashlights.
We can do
Those.
that.
I mean,
We could do that.
uh,
We could do that.
listen, with red lens flashlights, just know you won't see that far ahead of you. Just so you know.
Not only that, it's the color red.
I mean, yeah, but
Yours does get
it's not
scarier, yeah.
red. Yeah, a little bit. Kind of have to get used to it, but because red lens flashlight are low on the eyes, they don't really mess up your night vision compared to if you had like white light
Mm-hmm.
in your
Just bring
face.
night vision goggles. That's it.
You know how expensive those are? They are extremely expensive. You know what? Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look up.
Sacrifices have to be made.
PVS.
They will.
I think 14s is what the army.
All right, we're getting off topic.
We're getting
$2,000.
Okay.
$2,000 for just one night vision.
So we're not doing that.
For one night vision, like because most night visions, unless you buy like this full like this really high spec ones, which are like two for each side before, and they kind of just like converge into like a regular sight picture. You usually get monocular night vision, which is just on one eye.
Just
And
get
you
that
can-
shit off of Amazon.
$2,000, bro. You ain't getting that stuff off of Amazon.
Hell yeah, we
You
are.
can get off of Temu though. Actually, no, that looks fake. No, that looks very fake. Don't no, don't do it. Don't do it. No, actually, Walmart's selling.
I'm not
PVS
buying
14s.
Walmart. I'm not buying Walmart.
Walmart is buying PVS. Is selling PVS 14s.
We
That's crazy.
We'll go exploring haunted places.
No reviews though.
At the next, we'll do the next podcast live from the asylum. How
All right,
about
get
that?
A GoPro.
Get a GoPro. Nah, we definitely not gonna do that. We don't have all the equipment.
Get your phone and Instagram live it.
But
Get a burner.
But yeah, guys,
Instagram Live, why not? Fuck it.
these were the stories for this week's episode. A lot of questionable ones, but they were fun. They were fun reads.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Brian, thank you for hopping back on the podcast this week.
Oh yeah.
Edgar, thank you for hopping on the podcast for the first time. We'll have a one-on-one later on, probably in the fall, in the winter.
No problem.
Yeah,
Look
we'll
forward to
definitely
it.
do that.
Hey yo.
Hey, yo, Brian, anything you want to plug in this video, or you all good?
No, I'm good.
Edgar, anything you want to plug?
Nah, no, I'm not a content creator or anything. I mean, I tried to do Twitch and YouTube, but I don't got the energy for that now. Maybe in the future, but not now.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time I'll go have all these things ready for us.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so guys, we're about a week and a half from Halloween. It's exciting. And
I'm gonna piss myself.
here's to the rest of October.
To the rest of October.
Right.
Spooky skeleton.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everyone who's watching the video, anyone who's streaming this on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're streaming it. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Recline and Unwind. Adios.
Bye.